I am made to be free.
Okay guys, so today we have another cooking video for you. This is going to be so delicious. We're going to make low-carb chicken enchiladas, and I'm going to do this as quick as I can because in watching back some of my other cooking videos, I kind of feel like I'm giving a little bit too much information that you can just fill in for yourselves. So let's get down to it and make this really quick. The first thing we have are the wraps. These are called Joseph's Flax Wraps. Find these at Walmart for like $2.56 a pack. Boneless, skinless chicken breast. You can use whatever kind of chicken you want. Onion, black olives, quesadilla cheese. Now, I've not tried this before, but it looks pretty good, so we're going to use it for this. Then I have heavy whipping cream and Taco Bell mild sauce. Last thing we have is a poblano pepper. I've never used one of these before. It smells pretty good, but I'm going to cut it open and see how thin it is. And we'll probably dice this up to put in there, but I will let you know and we'll see. In fact, I'm going to make that the first thing I do here, just because I'm really curious. It smells pretty good. It basically smells like a mix between a green pepper and a jalapeno pepper. So we'll use some of this. Okay, so that was pretty quick. Here's what I just did. I diced up the onions. I used about half. I used about half of the black olives, and I used half of the pepper. The onions have more carbs in them than I realized, so I've been trying to put less in these things when I cook them. The black olives, half is just plenty. And the poblano pepper, since I don't know exactly how it's going to taste, I didn't want to overpower the taste of the whole meal altogether. So we're just going to use half, and I diced them up really small. Okay, so this whole process is really easy. Probably the most difficult part is shredding the chicken. You can do it a couple of ways. You can either shred the chicken or you can cut it up really small, however you like chicken. You can even do it in long strips. You can do it in big chunks, whatever you want to do. I'm going to shred it, and some of you might not like this, but I'm going to leave some bacon grease in there in my pan, and I'm also going to put some butter in. I'm a fat guy, believe me. I know what tastes good. And anybody who's questioning it, on a low-carb diet, you can have bacon grease and you can have real butter. We're going to let that melt and get really hot. Meanwhile, we've got 3 chicken breasts. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to cut these down a little bit because we're going to be shredding them, but they're kind of thick. So I want to cut them in half. That way they'll cook a little bit faster and be that much easier to shred. So here we got 2 halves of that piece right there. I'm going to do that with all 3 pieces. Halves of chicken. And there you go, this third one. So we got 6 chicken halves. Wash your hands. Honestly, if I had some gloves, I'd be wearing them with this chicken because, I don't know, man, salmonella. Get that nice and hot, and you just lay the chicken in there. Now we're going to let that cook for a few minutes on each side. I like to kind of keep sliding it around so it doesn't stick to the pan because this is a cast iron pan and I hate when things stick to it. You don't have to use cast iron, but I like it. Now this is the way I like to shred my chicken. I get it a little bit done, and I take 2 forks and I start going like this and shredding it apart. All the cooked chicken will come off very easy, and it'll shred really, really easy. Basically, you pull that off and it exposes more of the chicken that is not cooked yet, and you flip it back over and just do that over and over and over. The chicken will bunch up on your fork. Knock it off with the other fork. Keep on scratching. Kind of a long process with some of these, but it's worth it in the end. I really should have a camera up above so you can see what I'm doing, and it gets kind of hot on your hands. But just keep on scratching and moving along. The more it cooks, the easier it'll shred. Alright, that seems to be coming along pretty good. A few more minutes here. Your hands get hot. Your head gets hot if you got no hair. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let me show you. We'll give that a minute to cook still, make sure that it's completely cooked all the way through, but we've got that shredded up pretty good. And like I said, that is the main thing that you want to do. Everything else is so simple. It's just mixing and chopping and cutting and, you know, what you do when you cook anything. All right, well, that cooks. I gotta have a drink of this yummy, tasty, delicious Powerade Zero. Hey, Powerade, pay me. Okay, that's about done. The next thing we're going to do is take a bottle of this mild sauce. A bottle, whole bottle. This is 7.5 ounces. Pour it in your chicken. The whole bottle. And you're going to take your heavy whipping cream. We're going to pour about half of it in there too. Right along with the hot sauce. Yep, mix it all up. And that's how you make your low-carb enchilada sauce. Just those two ingredients. That's it, that's your enchilada sauce. Mild sauce and whipping cream. And what we're going to do is take the poblano peppers and we're going to throw them right in there too, because I want them to cook up a little bit and be kind of soft. I don't want them to be crunchy. We're going to mix those right in there with the chicken. That way when the chicken is soaking up that sauce, so will those peppers. The peppers will get soft and they will lend that extra taste to the enchiladas. Some peppers you have to be careful with. If you're using jalapenos and you put them in there and they get soft, all those hot juices come out and it's really hot, almost too hot, depending on what level of hotness you like. And we're just going to let that simmer there for a minute. Meanwhile, we're going to get the big casserole dish out. Remember, we still have another bottle of this. We're going to mix it with the other half of the whipping cream. Mix that up good. And that's going to be the sauce that we're going to pour on the bottom and over top of these. Obviously, you cannot eat every single one of these in one sitting. I don't expect there's anybody who would, but I'm just saying. Unless you're not on low carbs, eat as many as you want. Oh, that smells so good. Still needs to simmer a little bit though, because you want that sauce to thicken up pretty good. You want the chicken to all absorb the sauce. Now, with these Joseph's flax wraps, if you just put them in the glass dish alone, they're going to stick to the bottom of the pan. So you want to use some parchment paper in there. Okay, and this is exactly how you want the chicken, right here. I'm going to show you. You see how it's really juicy, but it's not just standing in liquid anymore. So we're going to take our wraps out, and this is plenty to use all 4 of these wraps. Just for the record, 1 full wrap has 8 countable carbs in it. So basically we're going to have 4 huge enchiladas we're going to cut up into smaller pieces. So just to make it easy, knowing how much to put in each, I split that into 4. Scoop it in there, roll it up, and put it in the pan. Now some of these have a little bit more chicken in them than the others, and I have before sprinkled cheese in with them as well on the inside of the enchiladas, but you don't have to. It kind of gives it a little bit more to stick together. So this is what it looks like so far. But what we have left is the other half of the sauce we mixed up, our shredded cheese, and the onions and black olives. So first thing we're going to do, pour this all over the top. It's pretty thick, so you're going to have to use a spatula to get the rest out of there. But you want it all, because it is tasty. Spread it all around your enchiladas. You don't want any of that bread dry, because it will crisp up, unless you want it to, but I prefer it to be soft. Clean up after yourself as you go, and you won't have a huge mess in the end. Turn on the oven to 350. Here's how it looks with the sauce. They are completely covered with that sauce. Next comes the cheese. Personally, I love cheese, so we're using the entire bag. Spread it out over the top. You want it to melt pretty evenly. You want to have tons of cheese on all of it. And then you just take your black olives and onions, mix them up, sprinkle them over the top. Here's how it looks. We'll stick that in the oven for about 10 minutes. Enough to melt the cheese and get everything else hot that's not hot yet. The only thing that I didn't do that you may want to is to put a little bit of pepper and salt in the chicken while you're cooking it, or at least after you've shredded it and you're letting it kind of sit there and simmer a little bit. Okay, it's been about 10, maybe 15 minutes, so let's go ahead and take these out. Oh yeah, look at that. Where to put? Look at these things. Oh my gosh. Okay guys, I am going to cut these things up a little bit, and we are going to taste these. I have no reason to believe they will be anything less than delicious. Mmm. I think we're going to put a little bit of sour cream on here. We're going to taste it without the sour cream first, but we're going to put a little bit on there anyway because I know it's going to be good. Now this entire pan here, I believe, has about 40 carbs in it, maybe just a little bit more, but that's the entire pan. Look at that nice little dab of sour cream on there. We're going to take a taste without the sour cream first. Just see how they taste coming out of the oven. Look at that, if that'll focus in. Delicious. That is unbelievable, guys. I know I say like the same thing every time I cook something, but what can I say? I'm a good cook. Look at that. This right here is better than anything you would get going out and cheating on your diet. Look at that. Delicious shredded chicken, onions, olives. You can just barely taste that pepper in there, but that makes it good. There's enough of it in there to make it really good. Plenty of cheese. All right, guys, I'm gonna go finish these. So delicious. I hope you guys will give them a shot. Super easy to make. The hardest part is just shredding that chicken because it gets so hot and it kind of takes a while to do. Dear God, thank you for this delicious bounty. Alright guys, that's it. Thank you for watching. These things are so delicious. Where did I put my Powerade? I don't know. Anyways, give them a try. They are so delicious. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
I am made to be free.